Speaking of free speech, Chairman of the Freedom Caucus, and with us now is the one and only Congressman Andy Biggs, Republican, Arizona, 5th District. Congressman Biggs, thank you for being with us today, sir. Let's go right to the audit in Arizona. I know you've been following it. They're about to close it here at the end of the month. I think Ken Bennett has done a miraculous job in keeping everything pretty tight, following the rules. I know the security there has exceeded everybody's expectation. From what you've heard, sir, what do you think is going to come out of the biggest electoral audit in the history of the Republic in a couple of weeks?
Well, John, it's real hard to say. Ken has done a great job of making the security good, making sure it's transparent, though, so that media can get there. But he's also, they've kept the lid on this thing pretty well by contract. You know, they've kept it quiet. Speculation is rampant. I'm not hearing speculation that it's going to come off super duper clean, that there was no problems at all, but that they anticipate that there's going to be some problems. So, for instance, the areas where you might find some problems will be the affidavits or signatures on the mail-in ballots, which were problematic. You're going to probably see some additional problems with voters that voted. You're going to find some dead voters. You're going to find people who weren't there. So those types of things are going to be revealed in this audit. I would anticipate the report will be out sometime middle of July.
What happens, Congressman Biggs, if there's enough fraudulent votes in there, or let's say votes that should not have been counted? Obviously, if you're dead, well, you shouldn't be voting. If you're an illegal and not a U.S. citizen, you shouldn't be voting. Let's say if they find enough of those real discrepancies, I'm not talking about a signature doesn't match, you can fight that. Just people that shouldn't, votes that should not have been counted because they don't exist or they're not legal to vote, and there's enough of those to overturn the outcome of the electoral votes in Arizona. Sir, what happens?
Well, we already know that there were a lot of votes that should not have counted at all because the courts overruled our registration deadline. Even though they said the registration deadline was good, they allowed 40,000 people to register to vote. So that in and of itself might lend itself to having more votes than the current difference of 10,200. Well, if it does happen that way, because there's been a certification that's been completed, at this point, nothing more will really happen unless there's a massive groundswell from the public and the courts were to intervene and take a look. Because, constitutionally, Joe Biden has been seated. His election's been certified. He's been sworn in. The question was, what do you do if you have enough, not just in Arizona, you would, of course, take several other states. Then my guess is you would end up, perhaps, somebody who has standing would take this to the federal courts to see if this could get cleaned up a little bit.